Thanks for joining us for UND Sports Extra. I'm Alex Heinert. While today, of course, is Election Day in America, Decision 2016 in the FCS doesn't come until Sunday, November 20th, when the playoff committee will determine who makes the field of 24 and who stays home. UND was on the wrong side of that vote a season ago, but another win, and it'd be safe to count the Fighting Hawks in for 2016, even if all the precincts haven't yet reported. Standing in their way, a trip to Greeley against 5-3 Northern Colorado. To the shadow of the Rockies, where UND was looking for a fourth straight victory over the Bears, they would have to do so, though, without the services of Keaton Studsrud. The junior quarterback would dress, but would not play due to a shoulder injury he suffered last week against Weber State. First possession of this one, and it's the home team moving the football first. Quarterback Kyle Sloter hits Brandon Cartagena, and the junior tailback would scamper 31 yards inside UND territory. That would set up this. On 3rd and goal, Sloter hits tight end Theron Verna on the play fake. That caps an 11-play, 75-yard drive, and that puts senior quarterback Ryan Bartles in a hole before his first snap as a starter this season. But Bartles and the UND ground game would respond on their opening series. John Santiago takes the reverse here and gets 17 down to the UNC 31. Then after a 4th and 1 conversion, it's Brady Oliveira, unstoppable from 20 yards out. Brady's team-leading 9th touchdown run of the season, all coming in Big Sky play, and we are knotted at 7 apiece. Late in the second quarter now, after a field goal from Reed Toppenheim would make it 10-7, here come the Bears. This deep ball from Sloter is almost intercepted by Torrey Hunt, but the ball gets wrestled away on the way down by Stephen Miller. That's a gain of 36 to the UND 13. But on the next play, Hunt would get his revenge. The pressure from Brian Labatt forces the errant throw from Sloter, and the redshirt freshman cornerback is there for his 3rd pick of the season. That ends the UNC threat with under a minute left in the half. Still a long way to go for points for UND, but on the first play of the drive, Santiago finds space on the draw for 26 yards into Bear territory. On the next play, Bartles would hit Noah Wanzik for 12 more to get close enough for a 40-yard field goal try, and Toppenheim would knock it through with no time left on the clock. Great 2-minute drill to give UND the 13-7 lead at the half. More of the same in the third as John Santiago sprints for a 33-yard gain here to put UND in business once again. John would go for a season-high 204 yards on the ground, and that would lead to this. In Luke Matthewson's 40th career game for UND, the senior captain earns his first collegiate touchdown. Great ball from Bartles from 9 yards out, and it's 20-7 North Dakota. Next possession for UNC, Sloter under duress again. He puts another deep ball up for grabs, and there is Dion Harris waiting at the other end. 4th pick of the year for the junior, and the NCAA leading 18th interception for the North Dakota defense. That would lead to a 34-yard Toppenheim field goal to push the lead to 23-7 heading into the 4th. North Dakota would not slam the door on this one, though. A fumbled handoff here between Bartles and Kyle Norberg is recovered by the Bears at midfield, and Sloter would then drive UNC down all the way to the UND 3-yard line. But on 4th and goal, another big-time play by Torrey Hunt to break up the touchdown. That keeps the home team at arm's length. Next Bears possession, big play here. Drew Greeley, who lived in the backfield against Weber State, gets the strip sack of Sloter. Jade Lawrence is there to scoop up the football at the 35, and he coasts in for what appears to be the game-clinching score, or so we thought. Call on the field is changed to an incomplete pass, much to the understandable annoyance of Bubba Schweigert. The drive would continue and eventually end with Sloter finding Stephen Miller for a 20-yard touchdown strike with just 2:05 left to play. Now, a 2-point conversion here would make it a one-score ball game, but Sloter fires too high, and that would be as close as UNC would get. The ensuing onside kick would fail, and UND would kneel this one out to improve to 8-2 on the season and 7-0 in the Big Sky with the 23-13 victory. A solid day at the office for Ryan Bartles in his first start this season, 10 of 16 with a touchdown and a pick, but it was the running game, both offensively and on defense, that played the biggest role in this one. UND goes for 290 on the ground and holds UNC to just 6 net yards rushing. The second week in a row, the Fighting Hawks limit their opposition to 12 rushing yards or less.
Start at the beginning of the week is pretty stressful. I just keep telling myself, it's a little nervous because the situation, we're undefeated in conference. Want to go in there for my teammates and be the best, play the best I could. And Coach Rudy, prepared us very well. There wasn't anything out there we didn't see, and then the nerves kind of went away that first snap, and then it was just playing football.
We saw some different things from him today. I mean, we had to make some adjustments in game to beat around that. But most teams usually don't give me the outside, and this team actually gave me the outside a little bit, so that was a plus for me.
It's just a big thing to be a part of this team. They got a really good thing going, and I'm glad I can help and contribute as best as I can. For the seniors and stuff is really big. It's their chance to get a ring, and we're chasing it. And every day, it's day by day. It's a daily grind, and we keep grinding for it. But it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Every day, it's leave no doubt. Leave no doubt in our film room, leave no doubt in the weight room, leave no doubt in practice, and that's just what we're going to do this week, and hopefully, come out Saturday and do the same.
8 wins on the spin now for North Dakota. We'll hear what made the difference in the latest victory with the head coach coming up next.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
Welcome back. Well, we're joined now, as always, by the head coach of North Dakota football, Bubba Schweigert, fresh off an 8th straight victory. Another big win for you, Coach. We'll get right into this one. In the lead up to the game, kind of the first time this season you had some decisions to make at the quarterback position. Talk about what that process was like this week.
Well, with Keaton being questionable, we, challenged Ryan and Brad to prepare very hard, and they both did, and really proud of those guys. And then we decided to go with Ryan. We felt that was our best opportunity to play well offensively on Saturday. He's been in a lot of games, and Brad hasn't played a whole lot. And we're really proud of Ryan, the way he went out and competed. But overall, proud of that quarterback room. Keaton was on the trip supporting and played a role in this game too.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan Bartles, as you said, got the nod and played well. No real big mistakes. One pick in the first half that didn't come back to hurt you. It's got to feel good having someone with that kind of starting experience in the past to step in a situation like this.
Yeah, he's a 5th-year senior, and has been real patient, been a real professional in this situation where he's been a starter and now he's in a backup role, and just was ready to go, and really a great competitor. So really proud of Ryan's efforts on Saturday.
Yeah, Bartles certainly aided by an outstanding performance on the ground, 290 yards rushing again. A big credit to that to the offensive line. Huge holes all day for this team. What has made that unit so good during this winning streak?
Well, I think we're just getting on the right people and doing a good job of that, and really plugging away and staying consistent at it. And it includes the tight ends and the fullback and all those guys, and then of course John and Brady, and they're just doing a good job running the football and moving forward, not taking yardage losses, and that keeps us on schedule for play calling.
Yeah, 8 runs of 15 yards or more in this contest. 204 of those yards coming courtesy of John Santiago, as you mentioned. Looks like he's 100% nearly now. We're close to it for the first time since maybe early in the season.
Yeah, he really ran well, and you can tell when he gets in the secondary and he's able to make people miss, and he ran with a lot of confidence, and was really a tough guy to get down on Saturday.
Running the football, obviously important for you. Stopping the run, maybe equally important, or more so in this one. You hold UNC to just 6 yards on the ground a week after limiting Weber State to 12. Talk about the effort of your guys stopping the run, how big that was for you this week.
Well, that's how we start every week with the defensive plan, is we got to limit rushing yards, and our guys did a great job of that on Saturday. And they had to throw the football, and when teams have to throw it, you can get things to go in your favor, and they're challenging. They've got a good quarterback and a lot of good receivers, but we did enough defending the pass to really keep the game, the scores down, and didn't give up a whole lot of big pass plays, so that really helped our team.
Yeah, you mentioned that secondary, two big interceptions again this week from Deion Harris and Torrey Hunt. This was an area cornerback that was maybe looked at as being a little bit thin entering the season. These two, though, are having all-conference type seasons, and both still underclassmen.
Yeah, proud of Torrey. He gives up a play, and then the next play makes a big pick right toward the end of the half and really changed the momentum in the game. And then Deion gets one in the third quarter when they try to push the ball downfield. And You know, so those guys making those plays, when they get an opportunity to catch the ball, to catch it and give our offense the ball back is really key to how we want to play football.
Yeah, one of the big plays in this game is your team was sometimes struggling to finish drives. A big touchdown throw from Ryan Bartles finding Luke Mathewson. Talk about Luke. This is a fifth-year senior captain who gets his first career touchdown pass in his 40th game. Talk about his effort and what he's meant to this team.
Well, he's just a real hard worker and really grinds it out week in and week out, and was really happy for him that he got into the end zone. And it was an excellent catch. You know, good throw by Ryan, and Luke finishes the play. I know the guys were really excited for him, and so were we, to see him score his first touchdown in such a huge game for our football program.
Luke will be one of 14 seniors playing in their last regular season game coming up this coming week. We'll talk a lot about that class next week, of course, but let's talk about the matchup for you against Northern Arizona. This is a team that was picked to win the conference, of course. They're on a hot streak, playing their best football right now, winning 4 straight. What do you expect from this Lumberjack team coming in?
Well, once again, they're very explosive offensively, and especially at the receiver position. You know, Butler gets a whole lot of the attention because he's their leading receiver, but they're just very well-rounded at receiver, and their backup quarterback, who's played a lot now, has gained a lot of experience in really moving the ball and throwing around, and their running game is effective too. So once again, it comes down to finding ways to turn the ball over and limit points, and then we have to control the football, and that's going to be really, really important on Saturday.
Last thing for you. Last week, that win over Northern Colorado, again, a close 23-13 win, gives you 8 wins now in the season, 1 more than you had last year. 7 was deemed to not be enough by the playoff committee. 8, you would certainly hope gets you there, but 9, obviously, would lock you in and give you a little hardware as well. A great opportunity that your team has given themselves this weekend, certainly.
Yeah, our focus is on our preparation for this week. We're going to let the record and all that other stuff take care of itself, but our focus is having a great week of preparation and going out, and we have an opportunity to be Big Sky champions, and that's the vision of the program, and we want to put all our energy and effort toward that. And we know it's a good opponent coming to town with the all-time winningest coach in Big Sky history, so we've got to play well if we want that positive result.
Yeah, well, we expect a really good game, Coach. It's been a really fun ride so far this season. Best of luck wrapping up the regular season this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Bubba Schweigert. Well, UND football, not the only North Dakota team in line to potentially control their own destiny towards a conference title. We're talking Big Sky Volleyball Championship potential with Mark Pryor coming up next. Welcome back. Well, here in studio after another successful week at home. This time, head coach of UND Volleyball, Mark Pryor. And Mark, entering the final stretch here for you. Does it feel like that midnight practice you guys had to start the season? That feels like that was yesterday, and yet we're here at this point in the year.
I feel like when that started, you know, I was a lot younger. I think we all were.
We all were.
Yes. But yeah, it's one of those that we've always talked about. If you want to be the last team standing, you've got to be first. You've got to be the first one in the gym, and we've done that. We're still practicing hard. They're excited about this week.
Yeah, I can imagine. So a great opportunity. We're going to talk about that coming up. But entering this past weekend's, a couple of big games at home, Eastern Washington started off the week. And a good match for you, especially those first 2 sets. Played really clean against the Eagles to get things started.
We really did. We really took care of a lot of hitting errors, and really just kind of took it to them, and it was really nice. That third set where we just started really flat, but I love the way that we finished. Just saying, okay, let's get this done in 3, and let's keep our legs fresh for Saturday.
Yeah, in that third set, you were down 23-17, and you managed to rattle off 8 straight points to close that one. It felt for all the world like we were going for.
Yeah.
Great resiliency from your team. What changed over that last stretch?
You know, we made a quick sub, and then I think what happened was we had 4 hitting errors in the first 2 sets. 4. You're going to beat a lot of teams that way. We had 7 hitting errors in probably the first 11, 12 points of that set. We finished it with only another 2. So when we play clean, you let the other team screw it up. So it's not really this difficult recipe for success. So
you get the win in 3, thanks to that great comeback. You take on Idaho then on Saturday. And this was a good balanced performance, it felt like, from your team from start to finish.
It was. They've got a couple kids that can really kind of do some damage, and they did really well. I think that they had 2 kids that played exceptional. We had 7 or 8 that just played good, and we'll take that 7 or 8.
Yeah, one of those kids, Tamara Marcelli, 21 kills, 18 digs. I think if people didn't realize how good she was, they certainly know now she's exceptional.
They better. It's one of those that she's really kind of starting to take over a little bit, and it's one of those things when you're a newcomer coming in, you always want to make sure that you're not stepping on toes and you're trying to fit in. And I think the kids have finally realized, hey, she's pretty good. Yeah. Let's give her the ball. Let's let her do her thing. And she's such a great teammate that it makes it really easy to kind of give her that much volume.
Yeah, that win over the Vandals puts you to 21-9 now on the season, 12-2 in conference. You've been locked up for a conference tournament berth for a long time, but you have an opportunity now, 2 more wins, and you're hosting this thing and you're conference champs. Talk about the opportunity and the challenge that's awaiting you this week.
Well, it's a great opportunity. We've never hosted before. Hosted means you're the #1 seed. We really would love to be able to do that, and we've talked about that. The challenge is we have about 2,700 miles, 2 matches over a 41-hour stretch. So it's that old movie Cannonball Run. That's really what it is. I feel a little like Dom DeLuise, just kind of along for the ride, just kind of make a joke here or there and try not to screw it up. So,
the start of that trip, you go to Northern Arizona on a Thursday, you come back, you play UNC on Saturday morning, and these are the 2 teams that are chasing you in this pack. A couple of tough games to close out the season, but you expected this right from the start that it would come down to this.
Yeah, we as a staff, when we met in March, we're looking at it and said it's going to come down to the last weekend, and it was very matter of fact, but we still control our own destiny. You can't ask for anything more than that. And here's the thing. If we do this, there's no question we'll have earned it. Yeah. There's no question with 5 of our last 8 on the road that we've been able to earn that title if we're able to do it.
Well, a great opportunity. We'll be watching and cheering. Coach, best of luck this week. Mark
Thank you.
Pryor. We're going to wrap things up with UND Men's Hoops coming up next. We are days away from the start of another UND men's basketball season, and who better to talk about that, of course, than the head coach, Brian Jones. Brian, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Brian, entering his 11th season now in charge of this program, and you have helped this UND men's basketball team transition from the D2 days now to competing for a spot in the NCAA tournament. Do you ever sit back and think about where this program was just a decade ago and where it is now?
Well, hopefully, I think it's in definitely a better place. We've had some great coaches along the way that laid the foundation, but since I've been here, we've definitely had we've taken strides. We've had some growing pains too, from the D2 to D1, but I really like the position we're in now, the foundation we have set, and it has a lot to do with obviously the players we've had come through here, but also the quality of coaches that I've had, just had the pleasure to work with.
Yeah. There's certainly a lot of buzz around this team entering this season. A big part of that, again, having 5 starters back from a team that made the Big Sky semis a season ago. Do you kind of embrace that hype, or is it one of those things you like to keep at arm's length?
No, I do. I think that's what we talk to the guys. You finally have that recognition. It's all about how you embrace that. Can you understand that now you're not going to sneak up on anybody, so your habits every day matter. And I think as a coach, that's where you want to be. You want to be considered in the top echelon every year, just so you know your program is recognized not only in the Big Sky, but just in the mid-major poll. So I think that's what we're excited about. Our guys, we have the leadership that embrace that and continue to teach our younger guys. It's the day-to-day habits, and that's the culture we want.
Yeah, one of those senior leaders that you mentioned, Quentin Hooker, coming back. He was picked to be the Big Sky preseason player of the year, having a great career, certainly in a fantastic year last year. What makes Q so special?
One is just who he is, his character. He's sets himself apart by how he lives his life day to day, whether it's academics, socially, athletically. Obviously, he does his job. He puts in the work. He puts in the time in all aspects of his life. But he's one of the most humble young men you're ever going to meet. And it's not about his stats. It's not about how many touches or how many plays you run from him. It's about what is his team going to get done, and how can I help them win a game or have a successful season.
Along with Quentin in the backcourt, your return, everybody else in that group, Gino Crandall, Corey Baldwin, those guys emerged last season in their first years playing for you in the program. Talk about that backcourt group and what makes them such a big part of this team's success.
Well, it's a unique backcourt because we have guys who can play multiple positions and multi-talented. Obviously, Gino is quite a talent, and through his maturation process, he's going to have a special career. Corey can really score in bunches, and he's probably our best athlete. So that's to me, what we've had our success since we've entered the Big Sky, because we've always had talented guards. And that's what we're going to continue to hang our hat on. Yes, we're going to continue to develop our bigs, but our guards is kind of what set us apart, is allow us to make this jump to be consistently in that upper third of the Big Sky.
Yeah, you mentioned the guys up front as well. Drake Bernstein nearly averaged a double-double last season. He's back, as is Connor Avance and Carson Shanks and other guys. What can we expect from the guys in the front court?
Well, I would say all three of those guys have had tremendous off seasons. They've really improved their game. Drake Bernstein is a utility guy. He's has the ability to be a facilitator at the forward position. Connor Avance has had a tremendous off season. Even Carson Shanks had a tough season last year, but he's bounced back, had a great summer, had a great fall. We need to continue to get them more involved in what we're doing in a half court offensively, and that comes with the trust and getting them touches, but they don't always have to score it. They got to be able to facilitate from there. So I think now we can establish a consistent inside-out threat, and that's going to really help us come the season, but obviously in the Big Sky play.
Yeah, that's some of the familiar faces. You brought in some new guys as well. Talk about some of the new faces we should expect to see this season.
Well, I think I'll start with Billy Brown as a freshman that we have coming in that's going to really be able to come in and show his talents with shooting the basketball. We got Solomon Rolls-Tyson that is an athletic big. We got Keenan Walter, another skilled big, and then we got Jafar Kinsey, who is he's a great on-ball defender, great strength, and just has, again, a great team player, allows, just to make plays for everybody else.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting season. It starts already this Friday, which is crazy, a game at 1 o'clock at home against Crown College. Coach, we're excited to talk to you about that game coming up in the future. Best of luck getting ready for it in this season.
All righty, thank you.
Cool. Brian Jones. Stick around. We're going to be wrapping things up here on UND Sports Extra right after this.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
It's another full weekend of live North Dakota athletics on Midco Sports Network, beginning with UND men's hockey hosting Denver at 7:30 p.m. on Friday nights and then at 7 on Saturday. It's the first meeting between these two since last year's 4-2 win for UND in the Frozen Four semifinals. Expect fireworks in both of those contests. Sandwiched between those games at the Ralph, it's going to be senior day at the Alaris Center for UND football as the Fighting Hawks take on Northern Arizona at 1 p.m. in their final game of the regular season. We hope you take in all 3 live broadcasts this weekend and then join us back here next Tuesday night for another edition of UND Sports Extra. Until then, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching.